Hi, y'all.
Hi, guys. We're back.
Welcome to Porch Talks. I'm Rena
This is Rochelle, and this is Porch Talks
with the Thunder Sisters. We don't script this. This is unscripted.
For sure. So today we came back to you guys, and hopefully maybe we will be coming to a porch near you. We are asking that if you have a story to tell us, and you would like us over at your house to do porch talks, that you would reach out to us and we could come to you and on your porch, or you could come to our porch, whichever porch you'd like to come to. And we can discuss your topic and maybe what has happened to you, either in this, whether it be in the community, the school district, whatever it is. We would like to hear from you guys.
That's right.
So
with that being said, getting involved.
Yes, being involved.
So being involved means we've got a parent group. So if you're interested in joining the parent group, message one of us, or Bobby or Cody Kimbrough even.
Yeah.
And and you can get involved and we can tell you how to do that.
Yes, reach out to one of us and we will be glad to help you. We'll tell you when our next parent meeting is, tell you what our plans are for it. And just being involved, it helps us so much. It helps with delegating tasks. It helps with just having another voice on our team.
Right. Also, getting involved means that if you are concerned about some topics going on that we're talking about or in the school in general, we want to encourage you to email your board members. And so we'll leave a description of the email in the those emails for your board members in the comments.
Yep.
And our email, if you don't have us on Facebook.
Speaking of, I got a email today. I didn't even get to read it yet.
Okay, so we understand you're emailing us, and we love that, and we will get to it as soon as we can. So our email address, and I'll let Rochelle tell you,
is Porch Talks all together, and it is 0612.
Yep, at gmail.com.
Yep.
And we'll leave that also in the comments below. We have a GoFundMe, don't we?
We do have a GoFundMe, and that is for our consolidation paperwork that the school still has right now. We're just trying to gather the money for this consolidation paperwork. That way that we can get it and bring it to you guys, because the public needs to be aware, and they need that public knowledge should be public knowledge.
Yep. And so we have a GoFundMe for that, and we will link that in the comments below. If you are interested in wanting to know why we need that paperwork, we have a video about it, don't we?
Yep. You can go watch the video on consolidation paperwork.
And we will link that in our comments on Facebook, and then we will link that in our description on our YouTube video as well.
Yep.
Just so you have it and it's easy and accessible.
Yep.
Okay, so today's topic. So today we're diving into a tough topic.
It is a tough topic,
but it's important.
We want to tell you guys, first and foremost, we will not be using names for this topic because it could cause a lot of hard feelings, and it could even cause some people to get in trouble. So we don't want anybody to be in trouble for anything that we're talking about. Or reprimanded for anything that we're talking about. So we're not going to use names.
So with that being said, we're diving into the topic of nepotism. Now, before we go any further, let's make it clear. This isn't about attacking individuals. We're not doing that. This conversation isn't personal. And what we are doing is shedding light on a system where relatives are being hired over qualified candidates. And it's not about blaming either. It's about recognizing patterns and speaking the truth.
Yes.
And pushing for fairness, I think.
Yes. I think that we've had a lot of good teachers passed over, or individuals even passed over for a relative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of somebody that's in the system already.
Yeah.
So I think that's important to shed light on that. I know that we have heard feedback about some of those issues, and there's a lot of unfairness, a lot of hard feelings towards those issues.
Yeah.
And these nepotisms that's going on.
Yep. So yeah, let's dive into it. Let's talk about it here on Porch Talks. So we're going to start with the assistant principal, I think, because that's important to us.
The new assistant principal.
The new assistant principal. Here in Birch Tree Elementary, we have always had a principal. And now, this year, they have told us that they are taking away our head principal and giving us an assistant principal here at Birch Tree Elementary. They are also giving Mountain View a assistant principal.
Which Mountain View already had an assistant principal. Birch
Yes.
Tree just didn't.
Yes. And then they had a head principal as well.
Yes, so
So-
they have always had two principals for the last 3 years or something like that.
So now the principal of Mountain View is going to be principal over Birch Tree and Mountain View. And
We're getting an assistant,
we're getting an assistant principal.
and we don't feel very happy about that.
No.
We don't.
No, we do
we
not.
want a head principal.
Yes, we do.
And not one that's bouncing back and forth, that we
Right.
feel is not going to be able to give 100% to either school. How can she? She can only give, at maximum 50% to each school. So to us, it just doesn't seem like a good idea.
And we've went in some of our other videos, we've went over the reasonings that the superintendent has given us for the reason why they are giving us a assistant principal, which in our opinion doesn't wash.
Yeah, no.
It don't make sense. And we've covered that on other videos, so we're not going to really dive in and open that up again. But you can go back on our other videos and watch them. That kind of explains all that situation.
Yeah.
So, in that being said,
Let's talk about this new assistant principal.
yeah,
Whom was hired over at least 3 qualified candidates that we know about.
right. 2 that works inside our school district,
Yep.
and 1 that doesn't.
Yes. And the one that doesn't, it should be said that she has all her principal stuff, where our new assistant principal has not currently taken her principal tests. And she said some stuff on the Howe County News that she had her, was it the Howe County News or Ozark Radio maybe? That she had her
Ozark Radio,
her
I do
master's and all of that, but in fact she hasn't done her principal test yet. She's supposed to have it before she starts next year, or this new school year. But again, there was a qualified person that did have all of their principal stuff, and she was chosen over them.
I do believe we were told that she didn't even get an interview. Do you remember that?
Well, I remember the superintendent said, well, we had one that didn't show up. But, I mean, you know that she did apply for it.
Yes. Yeah. I was told that she did apply for it.
So if she didn't
that
show up...
That may not have even been the person that she was even talking about either.
But if it was, I'm going to say she may not have shown up because she didn't get a call back. Or...
We don't know. That's pure speculation.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know 100%, but there
But
you
what we
have
do
it.
know is that she did apply.
She did apply. And she wasn't chosen.
Yeah.
Someone that is related was chosen. And I'm just going to say she is related to our current principal over Mountain View. So who will be our principal over Birch Tree and Mountain View. So therefore she's related to this principal who will be her boss. That seems kind of an administration way, I don't know about that. That her boss is going to be her relation.
Yeah. So what you're saying is there could be some kind of favoritism at play there.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, we can see that. Any sane person can see that.
Hi, Beth. Watching from the Philippines. Yay!
That's cool.
That's awesome.
That's cool. So yeah. So we have. So there could be some favoritism there. So.
Yes. So definitely her. I'm just going to say her family is very ingrained into this school. We're going to go over more about that family because that family in particular, there's another issue that came up with that as well. So we're going to talk about that in just a little bit because they're all related. Like, there's a lot of relations going on in here.
We understand, also, I think we've said this before, but we'll say it again. We understand that there's nepotism in every organization, right? We understand that it's a small community. We have 2 small communities here. Of course, we want our children to stay and work inside the communities that they love, and we love that. Our only issue is the fairness in the situation when qualified candidates are getting not chose
over the ones that
over family members.
Are family members, yes.
Yes, that's our big issue here.
And have the same or lower qualifications than what the other people do.
Right.
So we know that, like we said, 2 people at least, 2 people from Birch Tree. Thanks for the love. We know that at least 2 people from Birch Tree applied for this position for assistant principal and did not get it.
Yeah.
And we asked point blank, we felt like that was kind of undermining to our community because somebody that's in Birch Tree community
and has worked in district for 20 years in Birch Tree, right? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
I don't know how long she's worked there, but
yeah.
But still, somebody from Birch Tree is going to know our community and our kids better. They are. They're going to know our parents better. They're going to work with them more. Where we feel like this lady that's coming in here that really isn't from our community and doesn't know our community is not going to relate to us as much or our children. I mean, that's just it. So we're going to give you some of the credentials. We have one of the ladies that did apply's credential, and then we have our assistant principal's credentials. So, this is our assistant principal's credentials, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but I will try my best. Let's give it a minute to focus.
Well, and you can pull it up on DESE website, right?
Yes, on the DESE website, you can pull it up.
You could just explain it. You don't have to.
Because this one's so tiny, it's hard to see.
Yeah.
So she's got physical education, K through 12, career CPC. She's got physical biology, 9 through 12, mathematics 9 through 12, mathematics 9 through 12. She has temporary authorization for mathematics, the other mathematics.
Yeah. And this one, you didn't. That one's expired.
No, that's elementary education.
Oh.
That's expired. I don't know about that because, I mean, that's what she's going to be doing. Elementary education.
Oh, she's doing administration.
It's all public knowledge, too.
Yeah, it's all public knowledge. Yeah.
General science 5 through 9 and mathematics 5 through 9.
Make sure to credit their website.
Yeah, well. I mean, they can look up, you can look up who she is. She is the...
Mm-hmm.
Make sure to credit the website.
Yeah, we did.
So they know
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we got it off of the DESE.
I was setting up the computer, so I didn't get a
So, and then this is the one that applied. I don't know if you can see this, but yeah, you can see that one a lot better because we printed it off bigger. But
Yeah.
this is what she has. These are her credentials, the one that applied. And so you can see that she has principal 7 through 12, principal K through 8, principal K through 8, principal 7 through 12, health K through 12, physical education K through 12. So this person, in our opinions, would have been much more qualified because she has her principal. She's taken her principal test, where the other lady
Well,
has.
that's all she has is admin. on
Yeah,
hers.
yeah, admin, career admin. I mean, career admin, career CPC, initial admin. I mean, that's what she was. That's what she is. She lives and breathes that stuff.
Well, in one of the Birch Tree candidates, which we forgot to pull her credentials, but I mean, you can go look them up anyway. But she, I think she had pretty much the same stuff as the current assistant principal.
I think both of them did.
Yeah.
I think both of them had pretty much the same thing, that both of them just hadn't taken the principal test. So there's questions on why this person from out of town got hired over somebody that was some people in our community. So,
And I think, like, right now, because we finally got a principal, you know, we've had the same principal for the last, 3 years? 2 years, 3 years, that lived in our community, and she understood our community.
yeah, she was a wonderful principal.
And helped our community, you know, went to church in our community.
Yes,
And
and
so-
she knew the kids in our community. She knew which ones needed a little more attention and which ones were good to go. Like,
Yeah.
that's what a person in your community knows. If you're going to church and you're in our community, then you know the kids in your community, and you're going to know the ones that need more help.
Yeah. And, you know, I think when we had the principal from Arkansas who lived in Arkansas, we had him for several years. And that was a tough go at first. And then, you know, and I just think it's hard when you don't have somebody that lives in your community.
Well, I mean, they're not vying for your community, right? They're
Yeah.
not actually, so, I mean, there was issues. We're not going to go into it, but with the one in Arkansas, we found out some stuff. And if that is the case, and he passed up on a big opportunity for our community, that's very concerning. All
Yeah.
because he's in Arkansas and not here, that's very concerning that he would pass up such big opportunity for Birch Tree, for Birch Tree School District.
For our children's safety.
Yeah, I mean, we'll go into that more because we're going to do a whole segment about it. But I mean, that's why it's so important to have people in your community be an administrator in your community. You know, in your schools, because they're going to try to help your community.
Well, and I think like with the concern of the consolidation issue and wanting to consolidate the elementaries, I think it's better to have somebody from our community that understands our citizens don't want that.
Well, and also, I'm just going to throw this out here.
Some of them don't
with
want
parent involvement, somebody that's in our community would know the parents that want to be involved and the parents that are trying to step up, and then the parents that aren't. So somebody that's there and can watch those things and see those things with their own eyes, I mean, that's important. It's important because, you know, if you're in a community, you know a lot of things, especially in our small town community. You know a lot of things.
Yeah.
And you hear a lot of things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know which way kind of to go on how you want to do things.
Yep. So anyway,
that's the assistant principal thing and why we just feel like it's not a good idea and that we feel like she was passed up. Some of the people were passed up that would have been better suited for us.
yeah.
And so now,
Well, and then the other one was, you know, I don't know if she lived in Birch Tree or near Birch Tree, but she would have been qualified for it, at least.
yeah, she would definitely been qualified.
And, you know, we have an issue with the thing that they put out on, well, they put it out in two places. I think they put it out on Facebook.
Yeah, on their website.
And then Ozark,
page.
and then Ozark radio newspaper, which you can look up those articles.
Yeah, and so then Howe County.
That she already had her credentials when she did not.
And then in Howe County, because we called them out on Facebook and made a big stink about it, then she went on the Howe County News and said, oh, well, this is the case. She doesn't actually have her principal test, but she plans on getting it by the end of the year or by the time that she starts next year.
The summer break, I think.
So there was a few things that she still needed to get before she could actually be the principal. She had to take a few more courses. And so we kind of made them tell the truth because it needed to be told. Like, don't lie. Don't try to fool your public.
Right.
We can look and research things just as much as anybody else.
Right.
So don't lie about it.
Which is the issue one of the issues we have about some of this
if
stuff.
you didn't lie about it, if she would have just put out there that no, she doesn't, you know, we wouldn't have had a leg to stand on that because
I mean, we could have been upset.
We would have been
upset.
But, I mean, we wouldn't have had a leg to stand on so far as the lying and feeling mistrust.
Yeah. So then, with that being said, our assistant principal's son also got hired.
Yes, our assistant principal's son.
We had heard that he was hired for the 5th grade position in BTE.
When we knew that another person that definitely had more qualifications than him.
Yeah. Which I do believe she is hired now.
Yeah, now she is. I do believe she is the 5th grade teacher position. But at first it wasn't going to be her. At first it was going to be her son. And then we're thinking, okay, so now you're going to have Auntie over as the principal. And then you're going to have Mom over as the assistant principal. Then you're going to have the son as the teacher.
As the 5th grade teacher.
Hello.
All at BTE.
All at BTE. Like, does that not seem suspicious?
Well, an interesting point. If I were a teacher there, Like, this is just what I'm thinking. If I was the teacher there and I had an issue with son, right?
Yeah. Would you feel like you couldn't go to the mom? Like, no way,
Or
Jose.
or the aunt?
Or the aunt? Like, no way.
That seems hard.
what happens if you have a issue with the son as a teacher?
But still also, if you have an issue with the principal, I mean, parents, think about this. If you have an issue with our assistant principal and she's not doing something or whatever the issue may be, and then you have to go to our head principal
who is related
to her, are you going to feel...
We're not sure if she's a sister-in-law or a sister, but, like, it's a close-knit, like...
But are you going to feel...
Closely related.
Are you going to feel like you're going to be heard because they're related? I mean, there's already a bias there. There just is. That just is how it is, you know? And so are you going to feel like...
Yeah, I mean, if something happens and...
We already have this issue with our board, and we're going to explain that with this situation with the board and the teachers and things like that, because everybody is so closely related and in this system. You have an issue with a teacher and you go to the superintendent, you go to the principals, and then you have to go through the channels, right? And then you have to go to the board.
Yeah,
well, if that teacher is related to the board, do you think things are getting done about that? Parents, don't you wonder why things aren't getting done about some of the issues you have? Well, this is why. We're telling you why.
Yeah, swept under that big old rug.
Yes. And then nothing ever changes because everybody's related to everybody and nobody can step on anybody's toes. There's so much favoritism going on that, you know.
I mean, it's concerning.
It's concerning.
It's concerning. It's pretty darn concerning. I mean...
How do you hold yourself accountable in, I just...
Yeah, when there's issues, like, how do you feel as somebody working there? I mean, just put yourself in their shoes.
Yes.
How would you feel as somebody working there and say you heard this boy talking about you? I'm just speculating here. And you felt, a certain type of way, and you wanted to go and tell the assistant principal about it. Would you feel like you can? Like, would you feel like you could go and be like, hey,
as a teacher or a parent,
I heard your son talking about me. Like, no, they're not going to feel like they can do that. They're not going to feel like, and then if that didn't work, you had to go to Auntie and see if Auntie would pay attention and maybe stick up for you.
Mm-hmm. And then you got to go to the superintendent.
Then
and we all know that circle is just going in a circle.
Yeah. You're just going to get circle talked everywhere you go. And then if it goes to the board, well, you ain't going to get nothing hardly done there because they're related too.
Yeah.
So they're related as well. So it's a lot of relations going on in here.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not saying that it's not going to happen, but we're very glad that he got moved to Mountain View.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up getting moved to Mountain View.
Mm-hmm.
But also in that, we've heard from some Mountain View people that, oh great, another young teacher
with a substituting degree.
That is going to be over our kids, where they already have some issues with that. And some very new kids that are teaching down there that they feel is not 100% seasoned. Let's say that. Mm-hmm. I mean, once you're a teacher for a while, you get pretty seasoned in it. You know what to do. You know where to go. So you're better to handle situations. Let's say that.
I know at the age I am now, I'm a lot more patient than when
100%.
I was a kid.
100%.
Especially like a 18, 19, 20-year-old kid.
You
know?
learn a lot of patience as you go, and then you learn how to just be quiet when you need to be quiet. Because sometimes you realize, as a seasoned person, that you got to be quiet sometimes because you ain't gonna talk it out. So
Anyway.
So with that being said, since we brought up the sun,
Also, we would like to make it clear, we understand there's a teacher shortage.
we do understand that. We're not knocking this teacher shortage, but we are saying that, well, we've done some research on this substitute certificate thing, right? And how many hours was it?
I think it was 20.
Like a 20-hour course to get your substitute
20 or
certificate?
30. It's like nothing in the grand scheme of things, you know. When other teachers have went to college for 4 years,
Yeah.
you know,
Like,
and
it's a lot.
longer than that, actually.
And so we're not knocking these people, but we're saying that they're probably not going to have the best patience and the best know-how, and they're not very seasoned.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, we've heard from some of the Mountain View
Well,
people
and
that...
just think about a substitute. A substitute normally comes in, they, you know, if the teacher's got a
sickness or...
yeah, right. Like if the teacher's got a schedule or agenda or whatever for the day, of course they're just going to hand out what they need to hand out. They're not really doing a whole lot of teaching.
No, normally it's all planned. Like they have a
Yeah.
planned schedule or a planned curriculum that they're already doing.
Where teachers are taught, I mean, I don't know what the full depth of the 20-hour courses or 30-hour courses for substituting degree, but I'm pretty sure it's probably not going to be very in-depth on how, like,
I mean,
where
you got to
you
put together everything when you're the teacher. You got to do plans, you got to do curriculum, you've got to do PowerPoint presentations, you've got to have a full day scheduled every day.
Yeah.
So, that's something.
Who's teaching them to do that? You know, that's a good question.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Anyways, these are just questions we're asking, you know, because it's unscripted. We don't know. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on, now we're going to talk about...
But these are the questions, like, as parents, you think about.
As parents, you should be thinking about.
Right?
I mean, I don't know if everyone's understanding and really looking into or diving into what is going on in our school.
Well, and when older teachers are getting pushed out or retiring or just leaving because they're just tired of the nonsense, when they're leaving and we're hiring in these younger kids with substituting degrees, you know, I mean, over other teachers who are fully qualified, have went to the school, have done all the things, you know, or even went to college, you know.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Anyway, I mean, some of these I think have went to college like a year or more.
Yeah, some of them have some of their certificates. So, and if they're actively getting their certificates while they're doing
They're supposed to be anyway.
They're supposed to.
That's
be.
the condition of being hired.
But if they're actively, then they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and we digress. Like, that's just how it is. We know that there's a teacher shortage,
Right.
but then you look at this and they still only have their substitute degree, so you're like, I don't know about that. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but let's talk about this is the son's. This is what he has right now. So just wanted to show that to you.
Substitute.
Yeah. And so now we need to show you... Okay, we need to talk about our new special education department. And They just posted some stuff about our new special education people, right? And so
Who is special education? So what kids are in special education?
Special education, they're normally more handicapped kids or kids with special needs or
Learning disabilities?
learning disabilities that have plans, IEPs. Some of them have. So I was talking with someone, one of our friends that is going to school to be a counselor, to do the plans, because these kids go through like the doctor, and then they get prescribed to go talk to a counselor, and they do like a work plan. So like she said, her kid doesn't go to school until 9 o'clock. That's in his plan. Because he doesn't do mornings really well, and he needs that extra hour. And so they don't have him, and he doesn't go all day, I don't think. I think he goes at 9, and then he leaves by 1.
Yeah, because that's in his window to be able to
function,
to listen, to
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have ADHD and all of that, or autism, or any of those things,
That's why.
sometimes you only got a little bit of a window to work with. I mean, like
Which so it's a part of the teacher's job description to come up with these plans for these children, like assessments.
well, it's not part of theirs, but it's part of theirs to do IEPs and to document things that happened, and to really be diverse and well versed in what's going on. It's backwards to us, she says. I don't know what that means.
It's backwards to us.
Our thing is backwards. Oh, I know what you mean. Our thing is backwards.
Oh, when we show it.
When we show it, I don't know how to fix that.
Yeah. Well, if you want it, message us and we'll send you everything.
Yep. It says substitute certificate.
Yeah. I guess we'll just read it for now on.
I realized what you meant.
We didn't think about that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for telling us, because I mean, we're just showing these things that you can't read unless you can read backwards.
The important part is we did do the research.
That's what
And
we're
we did
trying
pull
to
it.
show.
Yeah. We're
Yeah, the letter we held up.
Yeah.
It took me a minute. But I'm like, oh yeah.
Which makes sense because this looks backwards as we're looking at it, like the wording on my shirt. So, yeah, that should have been our first clue. You know.
You live and learn. We can only do so much. We're flying by the seat of our pants.
Anyways.
So it's a kind of a big job being in our special education department, because of so much they have to learn and so much they have to do. And I mean, I know, like, my little girl, she's not diagnosed. We could get her diagnosed, I think, and we were going to, but she's like a 10-second Tom. I don't know if you've ever watched 50 First Dates, but she's like 10-second Tom. You got 10 seconds, and that's all you get. That little window to get something in. And then she's off to doing something else.
Her brain's just going a mile a minute.
It's just so much.
But she's incredibly smart because she can, like, sing and, like, memorize songs. And, I mean, it's just...
Yeah, she knows her numbers, her alphabet,
gosh, she's so
all
smart.
of that. But to get her to focus long enough on one of those little things, I mean...
Yeah, our hats go out to her teachers.
Yeah, because, woo-wee, I know, I mean, I worked with her a lot, trying to get her to know all of her colors and her shapes and all of that. So, and it's a struggle. But these are people that the special education department would help. And you have to have patience. I'm just going to say, like, she has taught me I didn't know I needed patience. I mean, I have prayed for patience before, and I'm pretty sure
That was life lessons. Don't do that.
Jesus gave me Joe. He's like, you're going to learn patience today.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for the next 18 years.
Which we have a mom who actually has a horror story that maybe one day we can have her on and her get to tell her story, but of just having a special education teacher
that did some things,
Yeah.
So, because if you don't have patience, it can backfire real fast. And you've got to learn how to have patience.
and handle kids that need that extra care and attention. But anyways, we digress. The situation is
that our new special education department, and it'll be backwards in here, but we want to show that we did our research.
We'll just show it like this. And then here's the other one. You can look them up for yourself. And the point is they have a substituting certificate.
Yeah, both of them. Both of the special education. Now the new, we didn't do the research on the new lady, the one that's going to be over it, but I think she is a seasoned person. She looks to be more seasoned. And so,
That's over the department.
yeah, I think she's going to be like the new director. They put that out on the website today.
Oh.
Or yesterday. Remember I shared that picture with you of the new one that we already have.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So again, just a substitute certificate is going to be over our special education department, and there's no way. I mean, they're going to have to learn a lot in a very short amount of time, because the IEPs alone, I'm thinking that's what you call them, filling those out and getting all of those done and turned in on all the kids is going to be grueling.
Yeah. And we know there's at least one other person who has had college schooling.
Well, yes.
That applied for that position and didn't get it.
Yes. Yes, we know that there was a person that is
That works in the system now.
in the system now.
That works in our schools, right?
So she's been working there for a while. So she's seasoned.
Years.
She's seasoned,
An
right?
adult,
Yeah.
an older adult.
Yes, seasoned adult that has worked with kids and been around kids a whole lot. And she applied for this and did not get this. And
Now, why are we talking about this? So, one, because we know that this lady had applied, right, and didn't get the job. But we're also talking about this because both of those new special education teachers are related to board members.
2 board members.
Yes.
2 board members.
Yeah.
They're both intertwined. The new girl and the new boy are both intertwined with 2 of our board members. And then we go back to
And then also
a teacher, a Mountain View Elementary teacher.
they're
related to her. And one of them is going to be in Mountain View Elementary, so as well. Another Mountain View Elementary to the principal, right? Because we said they're all intertwined. Then there's also a teacher in Liberty High School that they're related to. And then they're going to be related to our new assistant principal, which is in BTE. So and they're related to the parent as teacher in Mountain View Elementary as well.
So Rochelle, if I were a special education parent and don't feel like one of these teachers are doing they just have an issue, any issue, right? We're just going to say that because we don't want to just like project or hard feelings or anything. But are you going to feel comfortable going to the board about it, or going to?
I think probably the only person I'd feel comfortable going to is Mr. Merritt.
the BTE
No, the
assistant principal, or no, the MVE assistant principal.
I mean, Mr. Merritt's not related to him that we know of. I mean,
Maybe.
I don't know, but I'd probably only feel comfortable with going with him.
And then is he going to feel comfortable going, being able to go to anybody else about it?
He might be able to go to Lana, but then once you bring it to the
The
board,
superintendent.
yeah, the superintendent. But
Yeah.
then once you go to the board, I mean, you got 2 members on the board that's related to all these people
That we know of. I mean,
Yeah. And we get it because, wives ask their husbands to run for their board or whatever.
possibly, maybe.
Possibly, to be involved and to be over things. But still, when you've got this much going on, who can you turn to as a teacher? Who do you feel comfortable going to? I mean, as a parent, even, you're going to be able to go to the superintendent, but then if it gets brought up at the board, I mean, are you going to feel like you're being heard? Or are you going to feel like maybe they're being partial?
Yeah. So we have so we'll just go through this line, right? Well, thanks for that. I just got your message on Messenger, but yes. So,
Yeah. So anyway,
yeah.
let's go to somewhere else.
So, we will go to this. We're just gonna go off and we're just gonna go down the line, okay? And we're just gonna tell you all the connections. We're not gonna say names. We'll just say titles, but we're just gonna kind of go back and forth to show you all the interrelations, right? So we have an MVE teacher that is related to a board member. We have an MVE principal who is related to a LHS teacher, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have a LMS teacher that's married to resource officer. We have an MVE counselor, right? Who's has two sons.
2 sons?
Yeah. In as teachers, LHS teacher and then another teacher. Let's see.
No, he's a paraprofessional.
Paraprofessional.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I mean, if they're working in separate locations,
Yeah,
we understand.
We
that.
understand. Yeah.
Because if you have the principal over at Mountain View Elementary and then they have a son over here, just like we said, we love that they moved the son over to Mountain View Elementary because it made sense, right? It made sense. Woo! That was loud. That was very close, lightning. It made sense because he wasn't going to be underneath his mama.
Mm-hmm.
So we get that.
Mm-hmm.
But we're just reading you this to show you how intertwined this is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. So, there's just so much.
You got to these two, the sons. So this one and this one. And then
This isn't even all the ones you did.
yeah.
This is just some of them.
So then we have another high school teacher that's related to our super.
Intendant,
Our,
yeah.
Yeah, our super. And then we have another. Are you having me do it now? This girl,
Is a high school teacher, and she's related to a board member.
she's related to a board member until last year.
Mm-hmm.
The board member's not there now, but she was there.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the high school in the high school, there is a daughter that works there. And she's a paraprofessional. And so she's related. We have the MVE. We have sisters and MVE working there. Both of them. And then we have
sisters working.
We have another
in BTE.
LMS who's related to a board member, teacher who's related to a board member. We have LHS counselor who's related to our super or our assistant super. We have another Mountain View Elementary paraprofessional related to a board member. And we have the LMS principal. Her son actually works in MVE as a teacher. Well, it's MVE or BTE as a teacher. So, yeah, right here you have a mother and both her sons that work together. And then up here you got this whole thing where it's a whole family going on here.
You know, one of our people suggested, and we thought this was a really good idea, for the hiring process, right? Because I guess it is a common thing in other schools to have like a parent liaison, right? That sits in on the hiring process of school of teachers with the administration.
Yeah, so yeah, they have a few of the parents and or community members, parents and community members, I think is what she said, that would set. I think she said that they did that in Texas, that they had a committee that the administration would call when they went to hire people that could set in and help and guide and kind of make unbiased connections.
Well, because the thing is parents should be involved. You know, parents should be involved in their children's school, in their children's education, in what's happening in the schools. This is why a lot of stuff has come into our schools that parents are unaware of, and this is why parents have been kind of lost a foothold in their school, in their children's education, because we've allowed ourselves to be removed. And so by not speaking up, by not speaking out,
Yeah, I'm just going to say that there's a lot of connections going on in this school. There's a lot of family members, even family members that we didn't mention because we just mentioned the ones that were really intertwined. I mean, there's husbands and wives that work together. I mean, there's several other ones in there.
And there's some this is 3-4 schools. And so there's, one may be working in BTE and one may be working in
the middle school.
I mean,
that's what we said. And
we understand that.
Yeah.
But, when you have moms and daughters working underneath each other.
Or moms and sons.
That's
the
an
lines
issue.
get kind of blurred.
And that's happening in all 4 schools. That's not just happening, in just Mountain View schools specifically.
I mean, but who makes those decisions, right? Who makes those decisions to put those family members underneath those people, right? So who makes those decisions? You should be asking yourselves that. I mean, is the board voting these people in to? I know that the administration has to hire these people in, but I think that the board might have to vote on these people to go to these certain spots. I'm not 100% sure about that, but if so, I mean, when do you start asking questions? So,
well, I mean, I do think that idea of having a parent, be present in the actual hiring of the person, I think that would help with some of the bias, right? With some of the, not bias, but, biased against the people that aren't related. or favoritism is actually the word I was looking for, would help kind of, because it sure seems like it. And we're not the only ones saying this. People that are getting passed over and not being hired when they are qualified, or, and feel like relatives are getting hired over them, they're upset about it. They're upset about it, and they,
So yeah, the board does have to approve the people that get hired.
yeah. I mean, I would be upset about it if, I think if, I was.
I don't know if they're just not looking into who's related to who and who's going to be underneath who. But if they're not, that's concerning. That's concerning because you've got people going in.
How could they not know?
I think they know. But,
How do you not know? This is a small town.
I think they know. But,
in our opinion.
I'm just saying there's a lot there that they should be really questioning things before. And, that was something that she said to us when we brought that up about the nepotism. And she made sure to tell us, well, that's going on in BTE too.
Yeah.
And she kind of threw
the superintendent when we were talking to her about it.
When she said it, it kind of made us seem like, well, it's happening right there in your neck of the woods too. But who did it?
Who hired them?
We didn't
hire them. That's you.
That was on you guys, not us. We didn't hire them together. Like, we're just pointing out that it's not right. Even if it was happening in BTE, like, it's not right. I'm sorry. Like,
because at what point, when you have a teacher, you have other teachers in there, or even as a parent. I mean, I know we've said this and we're going to hammer in on this, because when you have three people related and are closely working together, if you have an issue with that person as a parent, as a teacher, as a custodian, whatever, if you have an issue, you will not feel comfortable going to the next chain of command when they're related to that person. You just won't.
no.
I mean, and it's concerning. And then if that person is related to a board member, how do you see that as any other way than there's going to be bias there? There's going to be favoritism there. How do you feel like you're not heard?
Yeah.
If you have a legitimate concern.
Thank you for the messages. I just want to let you know, guys, the people that sent us messages on Messenger, thank you so much for that. But yeah, I mean, you won't ever feel like you can go to somebody.
So that's our concern. Our concern is like the fairness in the situation, right? Our concern in bringing this topic, it's a hard topic, and we don't want any hard feelings. And we understand that
there's going to be nepotism.
There's going to be nepotism. But the fact of the matter is when you're passing over people who are more qualified, when you're passing over people who have worked in the system longer than others.
And you're passing over people that's not related.
Yes.
That seems kind of crazy.
Yes.
You're passing over people that isn't related to your family, so then that makes it look a little bit suspicious. Just saying. Just saying.
For real.
Just asking questions here.
Yep.
Just throwing out things.
Just two girls asking questions and saying, maybe you should ask questions too.
Disclaimer, this is our own opinion.
Disclaimer. That's right. Yeah, so we got anything else to add? And this topic is probably going to be an ongoing topic as we learn more, as we say with all of our other topics.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. I mean, we've been researching left and right.
And I'm sure we've left out things but
we can only do what we can do. We're just two girls. So, I mean, we do have some help on the outside world, but it's just mainly us doing a lot of research.
And your husband.
Yeah, and my husband.
And a friend.
And like I said, we have some friends, and we have some people on the outside. I said that. but
We don't want to make anybody feel like they're not important. But anyway, so our next topic. Are we going to read Judy Lynn's letter? Is that what we're going to do, maybe?
I think we'll dive into that.
And that is a thread that is very long.
That goes in.
You pull that sucker, it's going to be a mile, right?
Yeah, because it goes into some really juicy stuff. Some really, really juicy. So, if we pull Miss Judy Lynn's letter, we're going to be looking at our retired guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, who's not really retired. Just going to say that. So, come back probably next Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to try
we might do a weekend one.
We may be able to do a weekend one, but holy moly, my weekend is full. We've got ball practices, or we've got ball games. I've got a surgery going. We've got all kinds of stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
So,
we wanted to do this twice a week. We were going to say that. We wanted to do this twice a week, but I think with our time schedule,
I haven't been able to do it.
Work, we both work. So we are,
and then we have Bible study,
and then we're trying to research things on top of it to bring,
and we have church
more information. So.
and we have ball games.
Yep, everyone's busy.
So we just wanted you to understand that we love you guys, but
we'll probably
do it once a week. We're gonna shoot for Wednesdays if we can. We'll try for Friday or Sunday.
Yep, but we'll let you know.
Yeah, I'll let you know ahead of time, just like I did today, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
But
so the nepotism situation is an unfolding situation, and it's a concerning situation. Man, I'd like to hear from some parents and teachers to know how you feel about it, because if you even realize like how
entangled everything is.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. We would love to hear from some parents or teachers about that situation. But right now, I just want to say, if y'all who's watching could say a quick prayer. My daughter goes into surgery tomorrow. And so just let's guide the surgeon's hands. And also, while we're here, we want to thank Jesus. We want to thank Jesus for this whole segment. We want to thank Jesus for everything that he does for us every day, waking us up, everything he's here for us. We just want to make sure that everyone remembers to thank Jesus and put your armor on, because you're going to need it.
Spiritual armor, that is.
Yes, you put your armor on.
Ephesians 6.
Yeah, put it on every single day.
Yep.
Because you're going to need it.
Yep. So, we're going to remind you, get involved. Get involved. Get involved in your...
Be the change
that you want to see. Get involved in your child's education. Get involved in the school system. Parents, it's been too long that we have not been involved.
We've been silent.
Yep.
We've been silent for too long.
Yep.
And let things go for too long.
Yep. Email your board.
Yep.
Don't be afraid to email your board.
We'll put it in the comments.
They want to hear from you.
We'll put it in the comments.
Email us. We'd love to hear from you.
Yep.
Message us on Messenger or email us, and we'll leave that in the comments and description on YouTube as well. GoFundMe. Don't forget about our GoFundMe for the consolidation papers.
Yep. We appreciate every contribution we get.
Yes, we do. Even if it's $1.
Yep.
Even if you give $1, that helps, and we are very much appreciative for it.
Yep. That's it.
That's it.
That's a wrap.
That wasn't even planned.
All right, guys.
All right. This is the Thunder Sisters.
Next time, maybe coming to a porch near you.
That's right.
All
Have
right.
a good one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.